Barcelona rises at the seam of mountain and sea. In this city on the Mediterranean, stone squares, Gothic lanes, and the clear grid of Eixample show how the city evolved. Spires stand beside glass and steel, and parks step down to the shore. Color covers walls and roofs, from soft curves to straight balconies. A city built for daily life at street level. History clings to every narrow alley and Gothic arch. Ancient Roman stones and crumbling walls provide the backbone for neighborhoods that never truly sleep. And yet, Barcelona's soul mixes imagination and innovation. Architect Antoni Gaudí's shimmering mosaics catch the sun. Art Nouveau facades spill over boulevards, breaking the city's orderly grid into organic swoops and artful curves. The skyline is dramatic in the best way possible. The tangled, time-worn rooftops of the old town, the bright, methodical spread of Eixample, towers and domes jostling upward, and always the sweep of beaches and the gleam of the Balearic Sea stretching beyond. From the summits of Montjuïc or Tibidabo, Barcelona sprawls out with green boulevards threading towards the horizon, and the sea reflecting each changing sky. Barcelona was sculpted by visionaries, each era leaving marks in the city's stonework. The tightly drawn core of Roman walls, the spiraling medieval labyrinths, and the elegant, rational, innovative expansion of Cerdà's Eixample, each phase a testament to ambition and reinvention. The story begins with the Romans, who called this crossroads Barcino. Fragments of their world endure in Plaça Nova and beneath the Gothic Quarter, a city born as a Mediterranean outpost. Traces of emperors like Augustus survive in museums and in the very bones of Barcelona's old town, ever mindful of its ancient roots. Medieval Barcelona grew bold with trade and ships, its energy drawn from merchants and shipbuilders. The Palau Real Major anchors this legacy. Once the royal seat, and now crowned by memory of Wilfrid the Hairy, a 9th century noble whose legend as the father of Catalonia still resonates across plazas and streets, memorialized in statues and stories of resilience. Gothic churches form the city's spiritual backbone, none more dear than Santa Maria del Mar. Raised not by kings, but by the hands of merchants and sailors, its soaring spaces and radiant glass pay tribute to ordinary Barcelonans, whose collective labor powered the city's prosperity. As centuries turned, Barcelona burst its seams. The Eixample arose in the 1800s. Its airy boulevards and sunlit courtyards the vision of Ildefons Cerdà, his dream of openness and neighborhood harmony still seen today in the portrait of life on every block. Modernisme, Barcelona's cultural and artistic awakening at the turn of the 20th century, brought icons who now define the city's very identity. Antoni Gaudí's Sagrada Familia, Casa Batlló, and Parkway transformed the skyline with dreamlike forms and brilliant color, testaments to a city fearless in originality. At Gaudí's side, Lluís Domènech i Montaner infused architecture with poetry, endowing the Palau de la Música Catalana and the Hospital de Sant Pau with an enduring magic. Today, their portraits hang in museums, and their works inspire every visitor. The 20th century saw a transformation not just of architecture, but of the spirit. Pablo Picasso and Joan Miró, giants of modern art, were shaped by Barcelona's crowded quarters and Mediterranean light. Picasso's early works are housed here at the Museu Picasso, Miró's vibrant shapes at the Fundació Joan Miró. Barcelona's readiness to leap boldly into new realms of imagination. Woven through it all are voices such as Mercè Rodoreda, chronicling Barcelona's heartache and hope from war to renewal, her fiction painting the textures of everyday city life as indelibly as any street mural or statue. Today, Barcelona seamlessly fuses all these legacies, the Roman stones underfoot in the Barri Gòtic, the boulevards of Eixample, the measured plazas, and streets named after visionaries and heroes. The sands of Barceloneta, the colors of Parkway, the rising towers of Sagrada Familia, all greet you as invitations into a city constantly evolving, never finished, always looking to the future. In Barcelona, each facade and square is a living painting, an open invitation to witness how centuries of history and invention have shaped, and continue to shape, an unfolding urban story. So we begin, here, where tradition and innovation meet beneath an endless sky. Welcome to Barcelona. Barcelona in celebration. Barcelona's love of celebration sets its calendar aglow, transforming city streets, beaches, and plazas into stages for spectacle. Festivals, grand and intimate, ancient and new, offer a window into the city's identity, blending the old with the new. The year's most iconic event is La Mercè, held each September to honor Barcelona's patron saint, Our Lady of Mercy. For nearly a week, the city erupts in light, literally and figuratively. Parades fill the streets with giants and papier-mâché beasts. Human towers defy gravity in plazas large and small, and concerts pop up everywhere from historic courtyards to urban beaches. By night, the whole city turns its gaze skyward for fireworks and the Correfoc, when fire runners dance through showers of sparks, their costumes ablaze in every sense. From above, one would see rivers of people winding through the old city, fountains of light bursting and rippling across rooftops, golden clouds reflecting off stone and sea. In summer, the Festes de Gràcia takes neighborhood pride to astonishing heights. For 1 week in August, Gràcia's neighbors turn their worlds into incredible displays of color and fantasy. Handmade decorations form tunnels of jungle, outer space, or fairy tale, each street vying for top honors. The city embraces its connection to the Mediterranean with San Joan, a midsummer night when bonfires blaze on every beach and purifying rituals abound. Beyond marquee events, dozens of neighborhood celebrations break the year into chapters. San Antoni's Tres Tombs Parade, with horses and carts circling the local market. Poblanao's rambunctious Arts Week is full of street installations and outdoor shows, and food fairs dedicated to calços, grilled onions, or seafood in Barceloneta. Each reflects the energy and inventiveness of its residents, offering both grand cinematic images and the quieter intimacy of community. These are the celebrated moments when generations and cultures intersect, and the streets cast aside daily routine for a shared experience. These celebrations offer the richest material for profound memories. Whether written in a blaze of fire in the sky, the choreography of human towers and dance, or a parade of magnificent horses, Barcelona's festivals give the city relief, renewal, and its most dazzling and profoundly human scenes. Barri Gòtic and the medieval core. In the very heart of Barcelona lies the Barri Gòtic, a patchwork of stone and history where the past blends seamlessly with the everyday. This ancient quarter is more than a tourist attraction. Barri Gòtic is the living origin of the city, built on Roman foundations and shaped by centuries of change. Begin on Plaça Nova, where fragments of the old Roman wall stand shoulder to shoulder with Gothic spires and sidewalk cafes. Plaça de Sant Jaume is just steps away, its flagstones hosting city life for 2,000 years. The centerpiece of the quarter is the imposing Barcelona Cathedral, whose intricate facade and quiet cloister invite both admiration and retreat. Upon its face, vivid verticals of stone draw the eye upwards, while inside, the air cools and the candlelight scatters, The cathedral's cloister gardens, filled with palms and the city's famous white geese, feel like a secret held within heavy walls. The bell towers, accessible by narrow spiral stairs, offer brilliant vistas. A sweep over rooftops, sun bouncing off the maze below, and distant blue glimpses of the Mediterranean. Around the cathedral, Plaça del Rei, with its broad steps and soaring arches, is a favorite for many travelers. Every so often, a fragment of Roman column or an early medieval carving emerges, incorporated into today's walls and markets, a testament to how old and new intertwine. The lanes themselves are full of detail. Walls hung with artistic posters, shops selling handmade leather shoes, shutters painted in Catalan yellow and red. There are secret passages buried among these streets like the Pont del Bisbe, a neo-Gothic bridge whose arch over Carré del Bisbe displays exquisite and varied stonework. Each square has its own vibe, its own flavor. Plaça Real is flush with palm trees and ironwork. It is a square full of energy. Plaça San Felipe Neri, smaller and almost hidden, is a haven of quiet. The marks of the Civil War still visible on the stone. On weekends, Plaça del Pi turns into an open-air market with stalls selling local goods, foods, and art. Above, laundry and flags stretch across balconies, and the rooftops offer an up-close look at gargoyles, bell towers, and the geometric jumble of old city tiles, a cinematic moment waiting for any visitor. Many people use these terraces for plants, parties, or simply to enjoy the view over the city's shifting lights. Barri Gòtic is animated by its people. Morning brings runners skirting through alleyways on their daily loops. Afternoons see artists and students set up at shaded corners. The Barri Gòtic isn't frozen in time. It's lived in and complex, where each facade and flagstone adds to the mix of memory and modern energy. For the traveler, every turn invites discovery. The intoxicating architecture, the awe-inspiring old chapels, and murals bursting with color are splashed across centuries-old walls. This is Barcelona's roots, presented not as a museum, but as the constant beating heart of the city, open to anyone ready to walk, look, and listen. La Rambla and La Boqueria. Few streets invite you into the pulse of a European city like Barcelona's La Rambla. This is everyday Barcelona. Beginning at the grand fountains and open space of Plaça de Catalunya. This celebrated promenade carves a green ribbon through the city's medieval center, drawing together neighbors and newcomers, morning routines, and midnight festivities. Flanked by elegant 19th century facades, opera houses, and the tangled side streets of old Barcelona, La Rambla is both a thoroughfare and a daily stage, where urban life plays out in captivating layers from end to end. From above, it is a marvel. A leafy spine dividing the Barri Gòtic and El Raval, always thrumming with movement. The plane trees provide a natural canopy, filtering the Mediterranean sun and painting dappled shadows across stone pavers. The avenue is broad, yet the density of people and spectacle makes it feel intimate. During the day, La Rambla is a haven for people watching. Street performers, living statues in silver and gold, magicians and musicians all carve out their space, competing for the attention of passers-by. Artists display watercolors and sketches of the cathedral spires and sunset beaches. Local crafts appear in pop-up stalls right beside stands selling global headlines, football scarves, and nostalgic postcards of Barcelona's changing cityscape. About halfway down, the entrance to La Boqueria is impossible to miss. Its stained glass crest and wrought iron gates signal a shift from boulevard to marketplace. This is Barcelona's kitchen, a place where culinary tradition and city pacing meet in a space both timeless and new. Back outside, you'll find the Miro mosaic underfoot, a swirl of bold colors embedded right into the pavement, a playful invitation to look down as well as up. The facades of the Liceu Opera House, with their wrought iron balconies and proud banners, stand as a reminder that high culture and street style thrive side by side. Just beyond, a detour leads to the Plaça Real, where palm trees frame arcaded walkways, tiled fountains, and restaurant terraces echoing with the energy of every hour. In the afternoon, La Rambla becomes a gathering spot. The crowds ebb and flow, but always there's a cross-section of Barcelona. Skateboarders weaving around tourists, elders playing cards at sidewalk tables, students reading on the steps of churches just off the main path. Excited eyes may linger on the sweep of the avenue, but at the same time, the side streets beckon with promises of unexpected finds. Ceramic shops, independent galleries, and tapas bars hidden beneath old apartments hung with Catalan flags. The big market closes, but restaurants and tapas bars keep the party going on the avenue. There's a slow transition from daytime commerce to evening leisure, but La Rambla never quite stops. It just shifts gears. The avenue ends at the monument a Colom, the Columbus Monument, where La Rambla meets the sea. Here, the breeze carries a mix of brine and sun-warmed stone, port sounds and seagull calls, and the whole world seems to stretch out from the city's edge. La Rambla is Barcelona's social and historic heart, connecting shopping, theaters, gardens, and neighborhoods in one unbroken line of energy. To walk it, with eyes open to every side street, every sound and face, is to feel the city itself. Lively, changing, yet rooted in heritage and discovery. Ready for its next story. Modernisme and Gaudí's legacy. Barcelona's cityscape is inextricably linked to Modernisme, the distinctly Catalan take on Art Nouveau, and to its most famous visionary, Antoni Gaudí. Nowhere else in the world does architecture shape a city quite so intimately, coloring both the skyline and the imaginations of all who visit. Begin with the Sagrada Familia, Gaudí's unfinished basilica, and perhaps Europe's most recognizable and audacious landmark. Even from blocks away, its cascading towers and sculpted facades demand attention, rising above the Eixample like a fever dream from both nature and faith. Close up, the play of daylight through vividly colored stained glass, columns branching like stone trees, and facades vivid with religious stories create a space that feels both otherworldly and intensely human. But Gaudí's mark is everywhere. Along Passeig de Gràcia, Casa Batlló draws crowds for its mosaic skin, undulating balconies, and marine-inspired curves. The roof's blue-green tiles shimmer like dragon scales, while sunlight pours through stained glass into riotous rooms within. Next door, Casa Amatlle and Casa Lleó Morera stand as part of the Illa de la Discordia, the Block of Discord, where rival Modernista architects competed for attention, their elegant lines and bold flourishes an inspiration for the traveling creative. Down the avenue, Casa Mila, La Pedrera, stands as a testament to Gaudí's lifelong obsession with nature's forms. Its white stone facade ripples and waves, and the rooftop terrace, studded with surreal chimney stacks, feels like a sculpture park suspended above the city. From here, the aesthetic body of Barcelona is compelling. Rooftops, church spires, distant hills all visible, with the blue line of the Mediterranean on the horizon. Away from the boulevards, spreads across the city's northern ridges. Conceived as a garden city, it's now a public park where winding mosaic benches, gingerbread gatehouses, and the famous lizard fountain invite close-up exploration. Walking among twisted columns and riotous tiles, you see how Gaudí's ethos fuses nature and imagination. Stairways snake up hills shaded by ancient carob trees, while overhead, pavilions and walkways open to expansive views across the entire city. Modernisme, as a movement, remade more than landmarks. Eixample's grid is dotted with buildings sporting floral ironwork, jewel-like tiles, elegant lampposts, and courtyard gardens. Urban beauty for everyday life. The legacy extends to hidden gems. Hospital de Sant Pau, a tapestry of domes and pavilions. Colonia Güell, an industrial village fringed by pine, where Gaudí's crypt unfolds in brick and colored glass. This is a city where aesthetic ambition shapes the rhythm of daily living. Cafes tuck into modernist courtyards. Street mosaics, colored street lamps, and undulating benches echo its spirit. Extravagant processions pause beside dragon-like doors, and each sunset burns gold on stucco, tile, and glass. Barcelona today is both guardian and innovator, preserving Gaudí's works, continually restoring and adapting them, and drawing inspiration from his wild sense of possibility for new public spaces, art, and architecture. For visitors, these sites offer endless opportunities for breathtaking views and amazing new experiences. Modernisme is the creative heart of the city's openness and energy, turning even a walk down the street into a stroll through a gallery of art. Elborn. Elborn is Barcelona in close-up. It is a historic district where the centuries live on in stone, yet every street feels urgent, new, and vibrant. It's a neighborhood where artisan heritage, art, fairs, and the evolving city come together daily, making it a true showcase of both Catalan heritage and cosmopolitan creativity. The journey begins at Santa Maria del Mar, whose airy Gothic church remains the soul of the quarter. The church's soaring columns, washed in colored light, reflect the reserve and splendor of medieval Barcelona. Elborn's narrow lanes invite wandering. Carrer de Montcada stands out for its sequence of Gothic mansions, now home to the Picasso Museum and a constellation of boutique galleries and workshops. Medieval facades open onto studios where artisans craft leather, ceramics, and jewelry, while independent fashion designers use street-facing ateliers to display new ideas to residents and visitors alike. Street art and urban murals mark the creative energy humming below the surface. Alleyways and walls become public canvases for internationally known and local artists. Colorful murals depict Catalan icons, social messages, or pure abstract design. Some corners shift with each visit as new pieces appear overnight or are painted over in response to city moods, giving the area a visual dynamism rare in such ancient surroundings. At almost any hour, the area buzzes with cultural activity. The Picasso Museum's courtyards fill with art students and art fans. The Antique Teatro, tucked behind leafy gates, offers an oasis of live performances and a popular garden terrace. Tapas bars blend with live music venues offering late-night jazz or flamenco. During La Mercè, Barcelona's major festivities, parades of papier-mâché giants and drumming troops pulse right through Born's intricate grid, with crowds hanging from balconies or rushing into the street for a better view. Parc de la Ciutadella provides a spacious contrast to the old lanes. Once a fortress, and now the city's central park, its sprawling lawns, broad paths, and gardens are daily gathering points. Its centerpiece is the spectacular Cascada Monumental, an ornate fountain designed by Ildefons Cerdà, with creative input from a young Gaudí. Its golden figures, winged horses, and grand staircases for a fresh perspective on the city. Scattered throughout the park are palm groves, playgrounds, a greenhouse, and the Barcelona Zoo, ensuring that every visit offers something new to discover. As you move east, Elborn shifts character yet again. There's a subtle but powerful pull toward the sea. The air becomes saltier, the light changes, and roads widen into boulevards lined with shops and cycling lanes. Within a few blocks, the historic streets begin to meet the beaches and promenades of Barceloneta. This seamless connection to the Mediterranean gives Elborn both a literal and figurative openness, channeling sea breezes through old stone. This offers quick access to fresh fish, seafood tapas, and the carefree mood that defines Barcelona's waterfront. At sunset, many stroll from Born through Ciutadella's western gates, past the Arc de Triomphe, and down toward the golden light of the sea. An urban flow that links medieval chapels, lively plazas, art-covered corners, and the expanse of the Mediterranean in a single, unbroken thread. Elborn is the city's crossroads of artistry, tradition, and discovery. Here, even a short stroll offers a changing show of old-world architecture, inventive street art, the restful green of the park, and the timeless promise of the sea just beyond. Barcelona's coastline and beaches. Barcelona's coastline is where the city's energy spills onto the sand, where Gothic towers give way to blue water, and the daily rhythm shifts into something softer, saltier, and always in motion. The transformation of this waterfront is one of Barcelona's defining stories. What were once working docks and industrial yards are now a string of open beaches, busy marinas, and bustling promenades, each with its own character and favorite hour. Barceloneta anchors the shoreline, a neighborhood with roots as a humble fishing quarter, and now providing a lively bridge between the old city and the open sea. The scent of the Mediterranean is everywhere here, along with the smell of wood smoke from seaside restaurants and sunscreen, as families stream from nearby apartments, towels over their shoulders, heading straight for the sand. Narrow streets run parallel to the beach, opening onto wide boardwalks that draw joggers and cyclists at all hours. The city's beaches form a golden arc, stretching out from San Sebastián in the southwest, past Sant Miquel, Barceloneta, Somorrostro, Nova Icaria, and Bogatel, all the way up to Marbella and beyond. Each has its own audience. San Sebastián and Barceloneta, closest to the city, buzz from sunrise through late night with swimmers and volleyball matches. Nova Icaria is a gathering spot for families and groups of friends, with its shallow water and calm surf ideal for a relaxed day. Further north, Bogatel and Marbella tend to draw those seeking quieter stretches, as well as communities of surfers on breezy afternoons. Marinas at Port Olympic and the larger Port Vell run on nautical life. Sailboats, super yachts, and fishing vessels tie up, side by side, their masts framing the perfect city scene. Cafes and restaurants here serve seafood paella and tapas to a mix of yacht crews, day visitors, and office workers on lunch break. Port Vell's pedestrian bridge, the Rambla de Mar, carries visitors out over the water. For active travelers, the coast means more than sunbathing. Stand-up paddleboarding, sailing, windsurfing, and beach sports fill the water and sand with constant movement. Early morning brings swimmers and rowing clubs out before the heat of the day. Barcelona's coastline and beaches are famous for casual spots along the promenades and more polished dining. Multilingual service is standard among establishments. There are several Michelin Guide restaurants along the Catalan coastline, many of which have earned coveted stars. In June, the Feast of San Joan turns every stretch of sand into a citywide party. Bonfires blaze, fireworks burst above the water, and friends gather for loud, joyous welcomes to summer. Larger celebrations and international sporting events often use the beach as their stage, drawing crowds from around the globe. Barcelona's coast is a place where the city opens itself to the sun and sea, and scenes blend in a blur of leisure and celebration. From sunrise surfers cutting through gentle waves to midnight beachgoers gathering beneath lantern-strung chiringuitos, the shoreline is both a sanctuary and a showcase, reflecting the city's warmth, creativity, and promise of discovery just beyond the next tide. Eixample. Eixample is Barcelona's grand overture, characterized by elegance, boulevards, and urban grandeur. In this district, order and ambition take visual form, stretching out in a perfect grid of stately boulevards, bustling avenues, and broad, sun-warmed squares. Conceived in the 19th century as the city's expansion beyond medieval walls, Eixample, meaning extension in Catalan, fuses urban planning with a creative spirit to produce a district that is both practical and monumental, elegant yet dynamic. From above, the district becomes a marvel of geometry. Its chamfered corners form neat octagonal blocks, wide enough to let sunlight stream through and ease the movement of people and carriages, now trams, taxis, and the ever-present buzz of urban life. This distinctive grid offers beautifully clean lines, with tree-lined boulevards unspooling to the horizon and rooftop terraces revealing a patchwork of gardens, domes, and the bright blues of rooftop pools. A walk down Passeig de Gràcia offers a showcase of Modernisme at its boldest. Here, the city's elite built homes that doubled as statements of taste, power, and pride. Ornate facades, wrought iron balconies, colorful mosaics, and floral reliefs line the avenue, each building vying for attention. The famous Block of Discord brings together Gaudí's Casa Batlló, Casa Amatier, and Casa Leo Morera in a riot of architectural imagination. Their undulating forms, whimsical details, and bold color palettes capture Barcelona's restless creativity and love of spectacle. But Eixample's grandeur isn't only in its famous facades. Wide sidewalks are filled with cafe tables shaded by plane trees. Bakeries and bookstores nestle beside designer boutiques and international brands. Life here is rhythmic and communal. Seniors sitting at chess tables in Plaça de Catalunya, business people on lunch breaks, friends gathering for vermouth at corner terraces. Cafes and restaurants draw from the city's rich culinary landscape, serving everything from Catalan classics to sushi and vegan fusion, reflecting the area's cosmopolitan feel. On weekday mornings, one might make their way along Avinguda Diagonal or take the tram toward the Sagrada Familia, whose spires remain visible between buildings like a citywide compass rising above the rooftops. Hidden within the grid are architectural gems beyond Gaudí. The ornate grandeur of the Hospital de Sant Pau, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, unfurls through leafy courtyards and tiled colonnades. Even residential courtyards, visible from street-level gates, reveal secret gardens and shaded patios, where daily life continues in verdant calm. Eixample is about perspective as much as it is about organization. Sharp and tightly organized city blocks, but also the subtleties of local life. Shops kept by families for generations, handwritten signs in bakery windows, neighbors greeting each other on shared stairwells. The order of the streets invites exploration at your own pace. In the evening, the district's boulevards glow with neon and cafe lanterns. The city breathes out after the day's grind. Eixample is proof of Barcelona's continuing drive to blend innovation, architecture, and everyday elegance on a vibrant human scale. Discover it block by sunlit block. It's an incredible sight to see how grand design and lived-in moments can make something so unique. Montjuïc. Montjuïc rises above Barcelona's southern edge, a broad, green hill that has long provided both sanctuary and spectacle. Its very name, meaning Jewish mountain, hints at centuries of complex history and stories, from medieval cemeteries to military outposts and global expositions. Today, Montjuïc is a favorite escape, offering wide horizons, gardens, cultural landmarks, and a unique vantage point over the city and the Mediterranean beyond. Approaching Montjuïc, the city's energy gives way to a slower, leafier tempo. Funiculars and cable cars climb the slopes, as rooftops recede and the skyline with Gaudí's Sagrada Familia, the Eixample's gridwork, and the sparkling coastline all come into view. At the summit, Montjuïc Castle stands as a silent sentinel. Its ramparts open for strolls and staggering views: sunrise over the sea, sunset over the Collserola hills, city lights flickering to life as the evening deepens. Below the fortress, the hill folds into a patchwork of gardens and green spaces. The Jardins de Mossen, Costa e Llobera showcase cacti and succulents from around the world, their shapes standing in contrast to the city below. The Jardí Botanique, sprawling with Mediterranean flora, becomes a quiet refuge for birdwatchers, botanists, and anyone seeking a hiatus from the metropolis. In spring and early summer, the parks fill with color: roses, palms, and bougainvillea, tumbling down terraces with benches tucked beneath tree canopies. Montjuïc is also Barcelona's cultural canvas. The Palau Nacional, crowning the central axis of the hill, houses the Museu Nacional d'Art de Catalunya, whose collections span Romanesque murals, Catalan modernism, and 20th century masters. Its grand steps and the magic fountain below are gathering places. On summer evenings, the fountain's water and light shows draw thousands, each jet leaping skyward in sync with music, painting the night in motion and color. Elsewhere on Montjuïc, art flourishes in other forms. The Fundació Joan Miró offers a bright interior gallery, its hilltop setting matched by a collection filled with Miró's playful, vivid forms. Open-air sculpture parks and temporary installations pop up with each new season. The landscape is never static. Montjuïc's Olympic legacy also leaves its mark. The stadium, swimming pools, and plazas built for the 1992 Games still serve as functional sports and event venues. Winding paths and broad roads descend the hill, passing old fortifications, fountains, and shaded picnic lawns. The Poble Español, initially constructed for the 1929 World's Fair, offers a curated village of Spanish architectural styles. Craft shops, galleries, and food stalls all gathered in a single, walkable setting. At dusk, Montjuïc becomes one of the best places in Barcelona to catch the warm glow of a Catalan sunset. The hills turn gold, the sea fades to sapphire, and the city spills out below in a shifting river of lights. Montjuïc is both retreat and spectacle, part garden, part gallery, and always a unique view of Barcelona. Gràcia District. Gràcia sits just above the bustle of Eixample, but it feels like an entirely different city. Considered the Bohemian heart of Barcelona, it is a village spirited away from the metropolis, where individuality, creativity, and neighborhood pride shape every block. Once independent, now distinctly Barcelona, Gràcia is a magnet for those seeking local flavor, relaxed pace, and a community where traditions blend seamlessly with a modern bohemian flair. Wandering into Gràcia, narrow streets open onto sunlit squares, each with its own personality. Plaça de la Verena, shaded by plane trees and overlooked by a striking neo-Romanesque church, fills with people watchers, readers taking a break, and friends catching up over coffee from morning. Plaça de la Revolució recalls the revolt that toppled Queen Isabella II. Gràcia once stood apart from Barcelona, and this corner still signals that independent streak. Benches, shade, a small playground, and cafes on the pavement set the pace. The draw is simple: rest, have a coffee, and explore. It represents civic change, local pride, and democracy at eye level. Mercè de la Libertad stands under a wrought iron roof designed by a disciple of Gaudí. Its stalls brim with fresh produce, flowers, cheeses, and pastries. Mornings see regulars shopping alongside new arrivals, the air scented with the aroma of bread and fruit. Bakeries and delis offer specialty Catalan recipes, from mel y mató, fresh cheese with honey, to panelets and artisan chocolate. On weekends, craft stalls and pop-up stands line the streets, providing a platform for the area's ceramicists, artists, and thrift vendors. Gràcia's creative spirit is hard to miss. Independent boutiques and art studios line Carrer de Verdi and its neighboring lanes, showcasing handmade jewelry, sustainable fashion, and colorful prints. Vinyl shops and independent cinemas such as Cinema Verdi keep art house culture alive and well in Barcelona. Murals and small-scale street art add visual surprises at every turn, while little libraries and reading corners appear in the most unexpected places. The neighborhood is renowned for its Festa Major de Gràcia, held each August. Residents transform the streets into immersive worlds, draping blocks with handmade decorations, jungle scenes, fantastical creatures, and illuminated archways, competing to outdo one another with creativity and color. Parks and gardens thread through the district, from small playgrounds tucked behind modernist facades to the sprawling green of Parc de la Creueta del Coll in the north, complete with a lake, sculpture by Eduardo Chillida, and dramatic hillside. Many rooftop terraces, invisible from the street, serve as urban gardens, offering space for evening gatherings, yoga at sunrise, and grand views stretching to the sea and the mountains. Dining in Gràcia is a global adventure. Tapas bars side by side with Middle Eastern, Asian, vegan, and South American spots, all casual and open late. Evenings draw neighbors and visitors into plazas, where tables fill quickly and the line between indoors and outdoors vanishes. Gràcia offers the rare gift of both independence and connection. In just a few blocks, you can move from urban village quietude to the heart of the city, from a bakery's morning rush to a midnight open-air concert. For travelers, it's a place to slow down, linger, and experience Barcelona's true spirit, creative, communal, and forever welcoming to those ready to join in. Tibidabo and Bunkers del Carmel. High above the bustle, Tibidabo and Bunkers del Carmel offer a unique perspective on the city from above. They stand as Barcelona's open invitation to look outward. These hilltop sites have long been the city's favorite perches, where all of Barcelona is stretched out before you in light and motion. The journey to Tibidabo starts even before you reach the summit. Board the vintage Tramvia Blau as it rattles uphill, or take the more modern funicular, both climbing through the elegant upper neighborhoods and into pine-scented air. As you rise, the city grid unfurls. Classic Eixample octagons, the green diagonal slash of Avinguda diagonal, and endless rows of rooftops hinting at stories in every block. The ascent itself is dramatic. Low in the city at first, then the neighborhoods begin to thin, followed by forest, and lastly, open sky. At the peak, Tibidabo blends whimsy and grandeur. The Tibidabo amusement park, with its retro rides, fills the hillside with color and laughter, Ferris wheels and carousel horses silhouetted against the sky. From the top of the wheel or the vintage airplane ride, you'll see Barcelona and the Mediterranean as a living map. Sunstruck towers, skate parks in miniature, the Sagrada Familia thrusting upward, and tankers cruising in slow lines far out to sea. Sunrise brings mist to the valleys, rooftops washed in gold, dusk lights up the whole plain, the city's heartbeat visible in lines of traffic and shifting colors. The Sagrat Cor Church, with its monumental Christ statue, crowns the ridge with stone towers and an outstretched figure over Barcelona. Built between 1902 and the 1960s, it combines a lower crypt and an upper basilica, with terraces and colored glass that filter soft light. It's known for far-reaching views, sunset glow on its facade, the hilltop funicular ride, and a lift to near the summit terrace. People come to see architecture, ringed by sky, and to look out across the city and sea. For many, it reads as faith on the skyline and a steady point for orientation and quiet. Tibidabo forested surrounds, the Collserola range, are laced with Mediterranean woods. Holm oak, cork oak, and Aleppo pine shape the shade. Old lanes, the Carretera de las Aguas, and hiking trails thread the slope. Springs feed Valvidrera Reservoir, sandstone keeps the heat, time scents shoes. The Collserola is known for its urban wildlife at the edge of town: boar, fox, genets, and cicadas. They are also a popular spot for steady bird flow in spring and fall, night walks, and clear winter air. Hike one of the many trails and look for iconic skyline markers: Sagrat Khor, the Fun Fair, Foster's Telecom Tower. On the eastern side, Bunkers del Carmel has become a gathering point for sunset chasers and everyday dreamers. Originally designed as a military defense site during the Civil War, the old concrete platforms now serve as communal bleachers for the city's nightly transformation. Arrivals are staggered. Some climb in the late afternoon, finding quiet spots to read or journal, while others come in groups, their arms loaded with snacks and blankets. The view is complete. From Montjuïc in the south, across the spires of the old city, over the Eixample Grid, and as far as the distant beaches. Sometimes, the hilltop assumes the relaxed energy of an open living room, high above the city's pulse. These high points, Tibidabo's playful silhouette and Bunkers del Carmel's rugged platforms, serve as a reminder to Barcelona that perspective is always within reach. For any journey, they're the keystone that holds the city entire: sky, stone, light, and all that comes between. The city fades to dusk, but Barcelona's story continues, alive behind every window and just waiting for you around the next corner.